Welcome to Spirituality in Sin City. I'm going to do a little more work in my junk journal this morning. There's some previous little doodads we threw in here. I do all kinds of different things. Never know which way I am going to play around with the card of the day. Oh, speaking of, I forgot to grab one for the collage, a plain one. Hopefully I have one here in my stack. I have two little stashes. Generally, ta-da, one of them. Oh, look who wanted to say hi. Generally, I have a card in one or the other of my close by stacks. Anyhow, we are here this morning to talk about the King of Clubs, the card that is likely speaking to you right now if you have stumbled on this video. Please do leave me a comment and let me know if you saw it in your life today, if you saw the influence in your life today. It is a fire sign. Shoot, I promised to look up which sign to double check myself because this is one of the two that I tend to get wrong, but I'm not seeing my book nearby, so you'll have to look at my previous video on the King of Clubs if you are curious about that. So, sorry. I have most of the horoscope signs memorized, but there's two that play tricks on me. So this is either Aries the Ram, which is what I think it is, or Leo, because the Jack is the Sagittarius. That one I know. So pretty sure it is, yeah, Aries, but sorry. Anyways, the message of this card is everything to do with loyalty, power, and strength, and it exudes an attitude of might makes right. You know, being strong is what takes you places. And, well, it is a fairly appropriate, I suppose, example of my attitude is how I would describe it at the moment for me. I have one instance. I played poker last night, and the most memorable hand did involve my opponent having the, my opponent had the King of Clubs in their hand. Excuse me, I thought I saw comment there on the screen, but my computer is doing something funny because I am streaming myself. Oh, I guess I'm tuning back in. It said I was no longer watching, and that did not make any sense. So just trying to make sure I am on top of any comments you might have. So I will tell you about this poker hand that I played last night that the King of Clubs appeared in. But it was kind of the opposite-ish of the general meaning, which I usually, I'm gonna go ahead and cut this in now. Easier to hold in place that way until now. But it'll be easier to rip now, which is how you get the picture off. Woo! If I do it that way. So I just wanted to start with a little something for the center of this book, which seems to need a little something to hold it together. So I haven't done that on any of the other pages, but that's where I decided to start today. Use my little doodad to try and get this in there nicely. But okay, back to King of Loyalty. So I I don't really want to be all feministy on y'all here, but I am a bit of a feminist, and I see this King of Clubs as the kind of essence of masculine energy, which I do exude sometimes as a feminist, for sure, in my opinion. And, it's not, by that I mean it's not kept to women, but that is what I see as this attitude. And I see it also a lot in poker and in life, but let's just focus on poker because that's the easier, less controversial, I believe. And I don't want to get all politicky, etc. So I want to put a little of this on there too. So, it's still primarily men in poker. Years and years and years and years after the World Series has started, I believe we're at 52 main events now. I should know this, but I'm not perfect on remembering years, so sue me. But around 52 or so main events, we've never had a woman win. And we just finally, last year, had the second woman ever make the final table. Because there's just plain not that many women in the game is the gist of the mathematical reason. Everyone has a low odds of making the final table of any tournament ever. They pay about 20% of people make the money to oversimplify it. Varies quite a bit. But you're not going to make the money 4 out of 5 times that you play in a tournament is if you're average. And fun. The more tricky the field, the higher that goes. On that note, I have a video coming out today that will explain that thought further, so I'm not going to get extensive into luck at the moment. Today's video is on luck, and it is really funny. So, very ironic. I literally still can hardly believe that I came across this conversation during a live stream, which I will be quoting in today's video. It's an excellent example for the 3 types of luck that are actually in play when you are playing poker. So check that out. It goes live at 11 today. Yeah. And back to loyalty. So I see it a lot in poker in this mentality of GTO always wins. I mean, it's a logical conclusion, indeed. Math, it has its roots in reality. I'm not going to deny that. But my point is that the short run is a lot longer than most people think. And it's not as foolproof and infallible as some would like us to believe. So, nonetheless, although many men have played valiantly, oops, where did my king go? And there he is. Although many men have remained loyal to the GTO and have been extremely successful and are very powerful, and they all stick together and continue to all promote this viewpoint of this is the best way to play. Does that necessarily mean that it's correct? Or does it mean might makes right? That when they all stick together on saying that it's the right thing to do, that it appears more right than it is. That is your deep thought of the day from me. And on that note, it's a good time to give you the skinny on this ridiculous poker hand that I played last night in the $5 mystery bounty tournament online. On WSOP.com is where I play, if you want to look for me. And, well, I started out with one hand where I did not play well and was kind of annoyed. And then I had a few hands that I felt good and was like, okay, I got my intuition dialed in. I know what I'm doing. We're on our way. And so we start with 8,000 chips in that tournament. I didn't write down what the blinds were, but I think they were only 100 or so. No, they were like 300, I think was the big blind at that time. And so somebody had already raised, and there was colors, and people play very loose in that game. And so I went ahead and pushed over the top of all of them, all in, with Ace of Diamonds and Five of Hearts. Opportunity and disruption. I was feeling very strongly that I could disrupt any hand that's better than mine. I just thought, somebody's going to call me because they have a much better hand, and but I'm going to be fine. So, the person who had already raised when I went all in ended up folding because somebody who hadn't yet played at all called my all in, and I was super surprised that it was that person that called too. I was like, oh wow, am I going up against 3 people? Am I tripling up right now with this? Because I just felt very strongly, I'm gonna be fine. I got that 5 of disruption. If you've been watching the current World Series of Poker, that 5 of disruption has been very disruptive. So I was like, it's my turn. And so on the flop, I don't remember the first card, but he turns over. We got to go back. He turns over the King of Loyalty and the King of Judgment, King of Spades. I was like, oh, was I a bit rash with my judgment to be loyal to this hand? Immediately, I can guess myself because of the logic of the hand. Because anybody who plays logically is like, oh my God, why in the world would she do this? This is definitely just a $5 tournament full of idiots. And even I went there. That's right where my brain went. But long story short, the turn was a 2, and the river was also a 2. And I won because I had the ace kicker with quad 2s. So I just had to share that. The chances of that kind of a hand are like 1 in a bazillion. I think they did have a quads on the board kind of a thing recently at World Series Poker also. I did not save that hand. I didn't see that hand. I believe I heard about it, and that they quoted the odds of it happening, and it was very, very small. It's only happened a few times ever, less than one handful. So yeah, that happened to me yesterday, right after, I'm pretty sure, I heard about the fact that it has happened before. It's pretty darn crazy that the King of Loyalty was there, making me question my loyalty. I've now added some unintended decor onto our page, I think. Let's just do a co-rip, and well, only got a smidge over here, but got the letter I wanted. Excellent. All right, let's see. We need a W, and let me get my quotes back up here. Have some more insights from other people, much more famous than me, that have messages for us that match the idea of one side or the other of the King of Loyalty. So perhaps your quote of the day that really sticks with you will come from one of them. So, from Ecclesiasticus, I don't think this is the original Bible, y'all. I think this is one of the, is Apocrypha the right word? It's a little early for me in the morning. But the way that I get my quotes each day is just to ask, dudes, I'm doing the wrong letter. See how tired I am? Excuse me, I need another sip of coffee. We need a W. We need a W, not another O. Let's see if I can get this off. Oh. Apparently, it's a poop kind of a day. Let's see what happens if I try and pull it off this way. Nope, we're stuck with it. Well, I'm going to put this in somewhere because that's what we made. And I will do something else here with the king, I think. I'm not going to wreck this page with it. But you know, I was thinking, this was not the word I was going for yesterday over here either. So we'll just add this one in because earlier today, I was thinking maybe I'll just make this one a page full of oopses. Because the Ace of Hearts is all about taking refuge, and that's what I was talking about yesterday, taking refuge in my creativity. So that's what this page is going to become, just a bunch of random stuffs. Anyways, back to some quotes about the King of Loyalty. I was trying to decide how I want to cut him. I think I'm going to do what I did the other day, just make a little puzzle here while I'm not watching. Okay, so from the Bhagavad Gita, it says, from 264 in the Bhagavad Gita, the self-controlled soul, moving amongst objects with senses under restraint, attains peace. The self-controlled soul, moving among objects with senses under restraint, attains peace. Interestingly enough, that's kind of what I'm doing at this very second. Rather than stress myself out each day trying to find the very, very best quotes and overexerting myself on research, because I just don't have time. I'm a one-woman show. I would love to, but I just asked ChatGPT for a list of quotes that I can use each time, and then I scroll it and I pick the best ones from that and move on, because that's what I have time to do. And so far, being loyal to this plan has worked out pretty darn well. But what I'm seeing as the correlation here is that literally I'm moving amongst objects, words, and pictures, and I am keeping my senses under restraint. I am not allowing myself to get too attached with planning my design. I literally start pulling out the images minutes before we begin. Most of the time lately, I did some prior planning at the beginning, but it was taking too much time. I want to get to my bigger, better poker videos like the one I have coming out today, and they require a lot of editing, a lot of hours. So if I want to do both, so I'm here for you when you show up to ask me questions, which is, well, not today, but you can always leave me a question when you come across this after the fact, and I'll answer it then. And some days I have more people here saying hi than others. So there'll be more discussion in the future because I am going to keep showing up. I'm going to be loyal to my plan and use my might gets right, might makes right kind of style to make things happen. That's the plan. Yeah, I really want this to stop moving these around. It's driving me nutty. I don't have quite enough binder clippy things right now to clip the book down like this. And I don't have a big enough one for this side, so that's why I just have to deal. So, moving on to another fun quote. I scrolled past what book this is from, which you might want to know. There we go. That's right. The Tao Te Ching in chapter 66. I'm guessing ChatGPT is summarizing here. It can be quite liberal with the things that it puts in quotes. If you have never double checked it, I have. But I like the phrasing it has used nonetheless. And it says, to lead the people, walk behind them. To lead the people, walk behind them. Why? Because then you'll see what they are up to, what they care about, what they want, which is how you can easily get the people to be loyal to you. Which reminds me of another thing that happened recently, and I'm just going to throw out a piece of unsolicited advice here. So I always see, still, years and years after this trend started, I see people going on various platforms, Facebook groups, or I saw it on Reddit, saying, I'm this kind of person on this social media account. Here's my account. Check me out and I'll check you out, kind of a thing. Like, let's follow each other and interact and engage. And you guys, I decided to try and write back as nicely as possible. Maybe you're already doing it there, but why not just go on that social media, look for the people who are in your subject of interest, watch their videos, read their posts, like and interact. Do the thing that you're saying you want to do, and let them find you that way, guys. Don't, you're saying you want to be genuine. Go out there and be genuine. That's what I have done on Twitter, more than anywhere else. I literally have had a I don't give an F attitude about what I do on Twitter for the most part. I've never tried to post at a certain frequency on there. I do curate my attitude a bit. I try not to be negative, and I'm not going to say I never have negative thoughts that I spew, that's for sure. But I try to keep all of those off of the internet. I don't talk politics, but I do look for what poker people are doing and interact with them there from time to time. And when I do, I'm always doing it from a place of complete, genuine authenticity and I don't give an F kind of attitude. And then it turns into some pretty great things because people can tell that I am just being myself and they like that. And that has been reminded to me yet again by the fact that I'm having interaction with people on there, and people from there are coming over to my YouTube channel and watching my poker videos, and I really appreciate it. I really appreciate the support. If you're here checking this one out after and you're one of those people, thank you so much for cruising over to my channel. I've been working a long time to grow it. And conversely, with what I just described of Twitter, I have put in effort and tried to follow the so-called instructions of how you grow a audience on almost every other social media that I have. I've taken periods of time where I posted every day, or did all the things that are summarily recommended as the perfect solution that will make anybody's channel work out. But being loyal to those ideas did squat for me, really. It didn't get me where I wanted, would be the short version. I have gained some followers through those things. But the thing that was the bigger difference every time, even on those channels, it was the moments of true authenticity and finding the people who relate to me, that I want to be loyal to, that I want to support for real, and that I want to interact with and learn from, etc. And when I watch those people and interact with them, it's turned into things. If you don't know, I got to meet my hero in poker. Was my hero back then. I still admire her, but I've met so many more poker players that could also be on that list. So that I don't really call any of them hero. I just admire them at this point. So anyways, I met Jennifer Harmon long time ago, and it was because of Twitter. I interacted with her through Twitter, and now I have an upcoming interview kind of a thing, also with someone in the poker world, and it's because of Twitter. It's because I interacted with them genuinely on Twitter, just being 300% me. And now it is working for also building my channel little by little. So whatever you are going through that resembles that kind of scenario, I just recommend authenticity and sticking to it. That is how I feel I'm supposed to give you the message of the day today. Even though that poker hand that we were just talking about, where I questioned whether or not I should have been loyal to that hand because it was very logical to do so, I won. So sometimes it's the flip side. It's telling you to question what you're being loyal to for real. And sometimes it's telling you, good job, you have chosen the right thing to be loyal to. Oh, see, I knew one of those still needed to be stuck down. But anyhow, if you see the King of Clubs in your life today, leave me a comment and let me know. Or at least please smash that like button so we can get my vlog out to more people. And as soon as I get this bad boy in a spot, we'll draw one more card of the day to take us through to tomorrow. And yeah, so maybe you're wondering, why did I choose to break the King of Loyalty up into a bazillion pieces here for my, oops, we still got one more, for my junk journal? I didn't have a real reason as I started doing it, other than it was a last minute, I need to finish the project. That is how I do my art a lot of the time, intuitively. I just go with it. My gut said, cut it. You'll figure it out. Be loyal to your intuition. And so I did. And here we are. And as I'm staring at it, where did that other piece just, oh, is this piece? I am thinking that, we think that we can be strong and powerful by ourselves. myself included. I'm pretty darn independent and fierce. I have that fire energy. But we are actually stronger together and should remember that we're just one little piece of the whole. So I will, I'm sure, do something to draw these pieces together in some more cohesive manner. I feel like just closing this book is actually going to help these dry flat. So I'm going to do that in a second. I'll let you stare at it there for one more minute while I get us a card of the day. Awesome. What else do we need to know today? Give us a little bit of advice. Progress. Practice makes perfect. That goes very well with how I just said. I'm just gonna keep sticking to my plan, moving forward. And I see one more quote over here in my background. It says, "The wise man guards his mind as a Fletcher straightens an arrow." So I'm gonna be loyal to my shooting star, my arrow. But I am going to continue to try and guard my mind and pay attention to the signs. It seems to be bringing me progress. Do you see where I'm going with this? We'll talk about it more tomorrow. Thank you so much for being here and have an awesome day.